The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't trust me, big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy, big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
British punk, yo, wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars.
Everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Ron will be here in 1 second, and we've had a terrible week, lots of things going on, but we hope everybody else is doing really well. We have a great show for you guys hooked up today. Did I say welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a chat room full of people. Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see who's actually here. We do have a great show for you guys today. We have Tommy James from Tommy James and the Shondells coming on. And then we have Dave Sheridan coming on. Everybody knows him, especially from Scary Movie. He played Doofy in Scary Movie, and it's a lot of fun. So everything should be really, really good. Ron's getting ready to sit down now. Go ahead and just turn the light on, too, and we're ready to rock and roll. We look fabulous, you guys. So what's up, chat room? We got lots of people in the chat room. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat room. We have Kadrosha Ona Carol, Cindy Lady Lake, Eileen Shapiro, Bill, Victor Arokan, Angela Joseph, Thomas Claxton, Backpack John, Artist Miss Kim. I don't know, that's going fast, you guys. Oh, Don Hinton. I don't want to forget Don Hinton. And everybody, it should be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great show for you guys today. Ron's coming in now. Look how gorgeous he looks. And oh no, absolutely gorgeous. And so all is fun, all is good. Robert Dumont is here. Hello. Everybody, the chat room's going fast. So you guys, we're gonna have a really good time today. We've had a rough weekend and a rough week, but everything is getting better. We're super excited for today's show. And without further ado, let me introduce everybody. So chat room, hello. Rebel, thanks for everything that's going on. And now we want to say hello to my outrageous cool man about town who looks totally gorgeous. We're both in fall colors today. So what's up, Mr. Ron Russell? How are you, sweetie?
Surviving is what the word is. Shazam was sick. We didn't know what was wrong with him. We thought he was old and he was going to die. And one vet said he had cancer, and they carried on about $3,000 to $5,000 to fix him. And then I said, screw you. I'm no dummy. I wasn't born with a finger, So we took him to a different vet, and it cost $2,000 for like 4 days or 5 days, 2 surgeries, and we didn't get ripped off, and the dog is fine. But it leaves a little bit of a scar.
Absolutely.
Anyway, but we're fine.
And we have B.
I am
Claudia
very
just
excited about the guest that we have today, because I have certain favorite songs that have stayed with me all these years. Kathy Sledge, who I loved and we know very well, did We Are Family. She's been on our show, and we know her and like her. Also, now my brain's going dead.
Johnny Mathis is
Johnny
one of your
Mathis,
favorites?
who I know and has never been on our show, but I know him and I love his music. And of course, Patti LaBelle, who I want to meet, and I'm telling you,
we want to get on the show.
If you speak one more time, I'm going to put this mic down your throat, and they're going to hear you fart. Okay?
You want her on the show. Somebody listening
I don't want you being
her.
my echo. You're like Johnny Carson.
That's
he had
okay.
the echo. That guy that was sitting there, the Edmund man, was the echo. And Johnny used to yell at him all the time.
That's okay. You can just keep yelling, but we do want her on. So if anybody knows her.
I just wrote that this morning on Facebook. He steals everything from me. Everything but my underwear, because I don't wear any. But anyway. She made me lose my train of thought. You can't interrupt a person when they're not scripted.
They thought when you were lifting up your bra that was like a salute to them.
That was to Eileen Shapiro. It's a secret little thing we have. I raised my boobs because I'm teaching Eileen to keep her hands under her boobs so they don't sag as she gets older, because being a 48 triple X is not easy.
So you were talking about your favorite songs.
My favorite songs, and Crystal Blue Persuasion, I have the lyrics too. And I will, when Tommy comes on, I will take some time out to read the lyrics. Most people thought those lyrics were about acid or tripping or crystal meth, because Crystal Blue. All the druggies thought that, but in reality, no, it's a song from the Bible I heard, and we're going to ask Tommy all about it. But the lyrics are beautiful. The melody is beautiful. The song is beautiful. It haunts me. I heard it for the first time in 1969 when I was 29 years old, and it has a great memory and a great meaning to me. And I won't get into the meaning because it's too long, but I cry usually when I hear it. I start to tear up. I'm thrilled to have him on the show today. He's a great performer, handsome fella, and he's got a lot of hit records and albums, and he's so much a part of the 1970s, late 60s and 1970s, for those of you who have been around then, lucky enough to have been around then. I'm excited. And the second guest is a sweetie pie. I worked with him in The Big Friggin' Rat, and he's a great guy with a good story, and I hope he tells his story like he told me off camera on the set. I got snots coming out of my nose. I wonder why. Because the weather changed here. It's like,
yeah, you guys.
It's cold in Palm Springs. The heat is gone.
It was like 55 this morning when we got up, which is terrible for my knee.
And now
it kills
I got like nose dribble.
That's funny, though. So lots of people are joining us in the chat room. Let's say hi. Teresa Sabin just joined us. B. Claudia from Germany joined us. The chat room is packed with people. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. It really is going to be a fun show. It's going to be filled with laughs, but also some serious stuff, just because these are people that we really like. And
I mean, like I said, Patti LaBelle, I had to put my leg up. Patti LaBelle, we almost had on because Sister Sledge, Kathy Sledge, knows her very well. Kathy Sledge lived in the next town from us in Doylestown. We lived in Doylestown. She lived in Newport, was it? No, not
Newtown.
Newtown. And we invited Kathy and her husband over for dinner. And she said, would you mind if I brought Patti LaBelle? Well, I dropped the phone. I went into an instant coma. I was frothing at the mouth. And when I came to, I said, Kathy, are you fucking with me? Are you kidding? She said, no, Ron, I'm not fucking with you. I call Patti to see if she's going to come. I thought, oh my God, cooking for LaBelle? I mean, who cooks and makes those delicious pies that weigh 30 pounds each? I'm excited. Well, as it turned out, dates and time, we kept postponing it. And then finally we sold the house and we moved to Palm Springs. So I got screwed out of the possibility of meeting Patti LaBelle. Better than meeting her was cooking for her and then saying to her, listen, you have to sing for your supper, honey. And she would have gotten a kick out of it. I just want to hear like 2 bars of On My Own, because when you sing On My Own, I can go crazy. I think that's the most beautiful love song, sad song, but a beautiful song is On My Own. So anyway, we have a lot of great stars that have been on our show, great rock and roll people, jazz people, country people. We really, we've been on 15 years and we've brought you thousands and thousands of guests, because don't forget, we do 2 a week.
Not thousands, though. But...
Sure we have. Figure it out. 2 a week for 15 years?
It's 13 years.
Well, however.
And it's 2 a week. Well, see, 2 a week is 100 a year.
Anybody out there, can you do the math?
It's 100 a year. So it's for 13 years, it's 1,300 people.
That's 1,000, over 1,000. So it's thousands.
Yeah, lots of people.
So we've brought you a lot of people, great stars, new stars, coming up stars, old stars, like Lainey Kazan and my wonderful friend who passed away, Richard Anderson from Bionic Man.
$6 million man, yeah.
$6 million.
That was awesome.
Man. And so many of the wonderful people that we've known over the years. I guess that's why our show is a success, because we give variety and we go more than just interview. We have personalities and we bring out the personalities in our guests because we're friends.
And we have such great chat room people
Your mic went off. I'm
promoting
so
us.
glad. God's
We have so
punishing
many
you.
chat room people, though. Thanks so much, everybody. We appreciate it. They love my glasses. Thank you.
Good. God's punishing Jimmy. He's cutting his mic off for
No.
interrupting me. You know, you're like Trump at the.
They like your shirt.
Yeah, it's very, very Halloween and very, very October. It's all autumn colors, and so is Jimmy in autumn colors. Because normally we get in a costume for this Halloween show, but Jimmy with his leg and, you know, and with COVID and stuff, the spirit's just not here. We were invited to a Halloween party Saturday night, but I doubt we're going because it's going to be a lot of people and you have to be careful, even though it will be outdoors in a mansion, by the way, because these people live in the guest house of a very famous person's mansion, and they're throwing this outrageous party out around the pool. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what goes.
Say hi to Kadrolsha.
Kadrolsha, my
What's
darling.
up, baby?
Finally, I said your name right, Kadoltra, or whatever your name is, with those beautiful melons. KC's got a set of jugs, too. She's a sexy blonde. She looks like Doris Day. For those of you who don't know who KC is, she is a medium, psychic, philosopher, beautiful woman, perfect person, great friend, sweetheart of a girl.
And she's in our Celebrity Ghost Hunters comic.
And she's in our ghost.
Actually, she helped. She did it all. She put it all together.
She put us in that comic book, and we went on this ghost hunt at Kings Park Mental Institution, which was closed down for 30-something years, and it was rotted and hanging and dangerous and dark and spooky. And we heard voices, we heard stuff, and she got scratches on her chest from something. And what's his name? I love him.
Ricky Rebel.
Ricky Rebel and I love Ricky Rebel. We had to pee. So we peed together. So I have that.
That memory.
Well, I like that memory because I peed together with two celebrities. I peed together with Ricky Rebel, hand in hand, and I peed together with Mike Grieco.
Oh, no, Richard Grieco.
Richard Grieco. Mike Grieco is my friend.
And the other guy, Warren Beatty.
Oh, Warren Beatty and I peed next to each other at the Beverly Hills Hotel at a function. And he was smiling and chatting. We were both peeing. I didn't look because I don't do that. But everybody said, you should have looked to see how big it was. I said, really, I don't care. But anyway.
I like Warren Beatty, though.
Yeah, but I didn't look because you don't do that. That's a private time. And you just don't look at somebody's wang when they're peeing. Give me a break.
Teresa Saban says good memories, and everybody else is just putting big fun faces like, oh, wow,
Yeah,
you're
well,
peeing
you
next
know-
to... You probably peed next to other famous people, too.
Well, I peed next to Tab Hunter many times, and I've peed never peed with Jane Russell, but I peed, I can't think of all the, when you want, all the actors I've worked with, my God, I peed, waiting to get in the toilet when they're peeing, or, when you're working on a film or a TV show, you have to pee. We're there 12, 14, 17 hours, and you a lot of fluids because the lights make you sweat. So you pee a lot, and I can't even think of all the people I've peed with. But, the guys are there. Listen, actors are just actors. They're not, everybody out there thinks they're superstars. Like I always said, people never believed Marilyn Monroe peed. Well, she did. Jane Russell, I asked her. I said, did Marilyn Monroe pee? Jane said, Ron, what kind of a sick question is that? I said, because people don't believe that Marilyn Monroe peed. Movie stars don't do that stuff. Just humans do. Jane started to laugh. She said, you do ask the strangest questions. I said, yeah, that's why I'm good at it. But Marilyn Monroe peed and passed gas and passed everything else. And she had orgasms and she came and she, just like everybody else. We're just, actors are people. They're not super human beings.
So Tommy James is there. We're going to bring him in. How's that?
I'm so excited. I'm going to vomit.
Okay, let's go, Rebel. I'll have to introduce him, though, so make sure you let me introduce him. After we know we can hear him. Hello.
Wait. Where's my phone?
Hello.
The lyrics are in my phone.
Tommy, can you say something? Let's see if we can hear you.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Oh, my gosh. How
Okay.
cool. All right, so now we're going to do a formal introduction for you now that we can hear you, and here it goes. All right, everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly super talented with more than 100 million records sold worldwide, Tommy James. Hello and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. You guys are having too damn much fun sitting there. I've been watching you.
Well, we're a little off the wall with some of the things we do. Now let's get to the chase here.
Hold on, we got to introduce you.
Oh, hurry up!
So
I'm
hold on. So we
anxious.
got to do all. So he's super excited. And he never gets excited.
No.
So first off, this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host Ron Russell.
Hey, Jimmy.
Tommy.
Yes,
Tommy.
sir.
I got confused. I calling you Jimmy James. Big difference between you and Jimmy James. He's the Marilyn Monroe.
I got two
queen.
first names.
Right. It's good. But now let me just
Hold on, wait.
No, wait.
Now we have a chat room full of people, literally from like countries all over the world. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello.
There you go. Now I
How you
let
doing?
Okay.
There we go. Now we'll let Ron
Now,
talk.
let me do my little speech, and then I'm going to give you the floor. There are many songs. I'm 80 years old, so I've been around music forever. I've been from the Ink Spots back in the 40s and Doris Day up to what's going on today. In my life, I have listened to millions of songs, and I have collected very few that I adore and love. One is "We Are Family," and I'm proud to say I know Kathy Sledge well. And the other is, of course, Crystal Blue Persuasion. I cry when I hear it because it has a great meaning to me. Most people thought that Crystal Blue Persuasion was about acid and a trip because it was crystal meth and stuff. And I said, no. If you listen or read the lyric, you'll know it's not. And it's about the Bible, I understand. And it's coming from the because when they said when he looks down at all the children, who's he? The crystal meth? You got to be stupid to think that. Anyway, the music is fabulous. The whole arrangement is magical. Your voice is unbelievable. All of your echoes are wonderful. And I can't tell you how. Listen, I've met Jane Russell was my best friend. I've met every movie star in the world, Betty Davis, and I've never been as excited as I am now meeting you.
Well,
I followed you. I followed your music for years. I love all your songs. I wish you were still recording so I could get.
He is.
What is he record? Well, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
So now I've spoken enough. Let's hear. I want to ask you one question that I've been dying to ask you for 45 years. How did Crystal Blue Persuasion come about?
Sure. Well, the truth is that we were playing a. Can you hear me okay, by the way, guys?
Yes, we can hear you perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
We were performing in Atlanta, Georgia, at one of the colleges back in 1969, and one of the students came up to me with a poem called "Crystal Persuasion," and I just thought that was such an interesting combination of words. Wasn't sure what it meant, and then I read it, and the poem came from the Revelation, book of Revelation in the Bible, and it was really magical. And so I was becoming a Christian at the time. It was a piece of my life too. We went back to the hotel room and wrote this. Eddie Gray, the guitar player, my guitar player, came up with the little guitar line, bam, 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 bam. And I said, hold it right there. That I like that. And Mike and I wrote the lyrics. And before we knew it, we had a song. And the strange part about it was one of the hardest records I ever had to produce. And the reason was we went into the studio and just flat out overproduced it. And, we had guitars, we had a full set of drums. And it was, by the time we were done with the keyboards and everything, it just wasn't Crystal Blue Persuasion anymore. We looked at each other and said, well, that's not the song we wrote. And it wasn't. So we spent the next 2-3 weeks unproducing the record, pulling things out. And when we ended up, there was nothing but a bongo drum and a flamenco guitar and a couple of an organ trickling over the top and a couple of very smooth guitar lines, and that was it. And so we had to let the song breathe from a production standpoint, and it ended up being on that the Crimson and Clover album. And it ended up being my favorite song, I think, of all the hits.
And my favorite also. Now I'm going to ask you to do something for me because I feel you owe it to me now because I'm such a devoted fan of yours. So if you would kindly not sing, but recite the lyrics because they're so potent, they're so wonderful.
Sure.
They're so what we need today. We need to listen to your lyrics and we need to do what your lyrics say. Please kindly do this for me.
Sure. Look over yonder. What do you see? The sun is rising most definitely. A new day is coming and people are changing. Ain't it beautiful? Crystal blue persuasion. Verse 2 is, and you better get ready. Going to see the light. Love is the answer, and that's all right. So don't you give up now. It's so easy to find. Just look to your soul and open your mind. Crystal blue persuasion. It's a new vibration. Crystal blue persuasion. And the third verse, let me see. Oh, maybe tomorrow when he looks down on every green field and every town, all of his children and every nation, there'll be peace and good, brotherhood, crystal blue persuasion. That's it.
I love it.
That's 3 cents, by the way.
The part that gets me, the
3
part that
cents.
wait, the part that gets me in that song is when it comes back for I think it's the second verse. Every P da dee da 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 da. When you come into the second part, that's the part that thrills me because the music just gets so magical at that point.
Well, thank you. That's where the organ comes in.
Yeah, and
And
it's magical.
it was one of those songs that just was literally thrown together. It was almost conversational. And believe it or not, it was Morris Levy, the head of the record company's favorite song, too.
It's
of all
everyone's favorite song. I was living in LA I just moved from New York to LA at the time. And no, I'm sorry, I was still in New York when I heard it for the first time. And the first time I heard the story, I said to the people I was lunching with, "Oh my God, did you ever hear that song, Crystal Blue Persuasion?" And they all said, "Yeah, isn't it fabulous?" And then somebody said, "Wow, I really get off of it. I get so high." And I thought, no, that song is not supposed to make you get high. It's not about crystal meth, you stupid ass. Don't you listen to lyrics? They said, "No, man, the music is just so fabulous." I'll never forget the conversation. Now, I don't believe that song was a mistake or thrown together or any of that nonsense. I believe that it was sent to you from someone or someplace. I believe in aliens. I understand you do too. We can't be so stupid as to think we're the only people on the planet. I believe that millions and millions and millions of years ago, the aliens were here and they created us. And of course, all of what they built has disappeared because of time. Eileen Shapiro said to me that you believe also in aliens. Now, I know people think we're nuts, but if you believe in Jesus Christ, that was a man who came out of a cave and went to heaven. That's kind of fantastic to believe too. So why not believe? Why not believe in aliens?
Well, listen, you do have a point that space is so vast, and the number of galaxies. When we look at the number of stars in each galaxy, we're talking about billions, 100 billion stars in each galaxy. Each star potentially has planets around it. We've got billions of galaxies. So in a universe that huge, it's very hard to believe that there is another life. Even in scripture, even in the Bible, it says, "In my Father's house there are many mansions," meaning many dwelling places. If it were not true, I would have told you. So we know that there's angelic life. We know that there's all kinds of life. So wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't know if people came here from other star systems. That's going to be quite a feat, but it's very possible. And we're learning new stuff every day. I think one of the most fascinating things are places around the earth like Pumapuco and places like that where these incredible monolithic stones that have been obviously crafted by somebody and built. Those are fascinating things that there's absolutely no answer to. And
So you listen. So
pardon
you
me?
listen. You listen to Giorgio on Ancient Aliens, don't you?
I do,
You
as a
know,
matter of fact. Yes, I do.
I want Giorgio on the show because I love him to death, and everything.
I love his hair.
That's what he loves too.
The best hair.
Yes.
I just think
I think he put a cherry bomb in the middle of his head, and before he goes on TV.
Yeah.
it blows it up. It's true. But he's really wonderful. He's put up a fabulous show. He's made the awareness of this possibility to millions of people who really believe that we can't be so pompous to think that we are the only ones and that we came out of the ocean and we evolution. No, I believe that aliens came here and with DNA. We're finding that out now because certain people have DNA that fits aliens. It doesn't belong to humans, and they're wondering where the DNA is coming from. So little by little, we're finding out. Now, we're not saying that there isn't a God. Before there's a God, somebody, or we call it a God, something or someone created all of the planets and created everything. So there is a higher being.
Is that Ira?
There is a higher being. We know that for a fact. Now, why couldn't Jesus Christ be one of the descendants of the aliens?
He actually, though, because he didn't tell Eileen aliens, he said UFOs, just so you know.
Oh, UFOs I believe in too. Well, in a UFO, Jimmy, it's not Marilyn Monroe.
You never know.
It's an alien. It's an alien in there.
So hold on. Okay, so hold on.
But anyway, Jimmy, Tommy, and I keep calling you.
Yes.
Jimmy. Damn that. No, because Jimmy James is a good friend of mine, and the James throws me. Tommy.
When you have two first names, you go through life never knowing which one ought to be used first. So
well,
I completely understand.
I'm Ron Russell, and a lot of people call me Russell. So I respond. It's okay. Talk to me now. Tell me anything that you want. This is open market.
Well,
I want to hear everything from you.
Well, there's a lot going on right now, even though we're shut down in many ways. Of course, the concert business is, it's flat right now. Nobody's doing concerts because nobody wants to infect anybody.
Right.
But there's lots of other things going on, and one of them, of course, is my radio show on Sirius XM every Sunday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's called Getting Together, and we're on 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time every Sunday. And we're in the middle of doing a movie, a film of my book. The book is called Me, the Mob, and the Music, and it's about our very tumultuous, crazy, and sometimes scary relationship with Roulette Records, the label that we had most of our hits on. And I also have that. Well, the movie is going to be. The production's on hold right now because of the virus, and but that's going to slowly be coming back next year. Barbara DeFina is our producer, who produced Goodfellas and Casino, and Hugo a few years ago with Martin Scorsese, and just a string of great movies. And we're very proud to have her. The screenplay has been written by Matthew Stone, and our director is Kathleen Marshall. And so a lot of great names, and a lot. I'm very, very proud to have this book turned into a film. I really am very honored by it, and by the fans' response to the book. We have a new album out, or one that's about.
Hang on. I don't know why we have that weird noise.
I don't know. There's a weird noise.
But hang on. No, let me go. So I want to go back to the book because you're too modest.
No, I wanted to say something about the book that's going to blow up his skirt. Okay. I understand you use the name Genovese. My cousin was married to Genovese, so I know
Sure.
that family. I know that family very well. And my
Right.
cousin Bertha, her sister, was married to another big mafioso. So on my cousin's side, they were all connected people with the big shots. So let's hear what you have to
No,
say
wait a
about them.
second. Wait a second. Hold on. So you guys listen up, because the book is called Me, the Mob, and the Music, and it's ranked number 12 of the top 25 greatest rock and roll memoirs of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. So it's not just like he wrote a book and nobody read it. This is like a highly acclaimed, super great book. Everybody needs to go read it so that when the movie comes out, you're gonna like love the movie. Also, you're because it's you, I can brag for you. I like to brag for all our clients because that's a really big thing
But
to be number
can we
20.
do the brag after?
No.
I want to. I have a point I want to get to. That this book and this movie they're making is not about some guy singing in a park. This is about how the mob was screwing around and threatening his life. Because Eileen Shapiro filled me in. I never research a client. I mean, a client. I never research a guest. You're the only one I asked about. Eileen and I had a great long talk about you, and she was filling me in. I understand that you had some difficulty with the mob. Could you explain that?
Well, basically, the gist of the story is that while we were hanky-pankying and money-moneying and all that stuff, this very dark and evil and sinister story was going on behind us we couldn't talk about. And the reason was because Roulette, in addition to being a good little indie label, was also a front for the Genovese crime family in New York. And Morris Levy, the head of the record company, was, as they say, an associate, and he was Jewish, so he wasn't like a made guy, but he had all the other traits. And so what it boiled down to is that these guys would come up to Roulette and basically sit there and use it almost like a social club. And I started recognizing people that I saw on TV, and that's kind of how we figured it all out. But the funny part is, and I talk about this a lot, if it wasn't for Morris Levy and Roulette Records, there wouldn't have been a Tommy James. So I can't really, every time I go to say something really nasty about Morris or Roulette, I stop myself, because the truth is that they gave me my career, and I can only, all I can say is that one of these days I got to ask the good Lord what he had in mind. With Roulette Records.
Tommy, Jane, who Jane Russell is, the movie star?
Sure.
Jane, okay, Jane and I were like brother and sister. We're best of friends. In fact, I took her name when I went into the business, and she's a born-again Christian. Well, actually, she said I was a Christian when I was born. I never became. She said I've always been. And I said to her, no, I said to her one day, I said, what made you become an actress? She said, I didn't want to. She said it was one of the Lord's mistakes. She said, I had no intention of ever being an actress. I don't like being an actress, and I don't like being exploited. And all Howard Hughes did was exploit me. But I knew that the Lord had a path for me to follow. She said, and I followed that path. But unfortunately, Bob, her then boyfriend, and she got her pregnant, and she had an abortion. She almost died, and she could never have children again. And she said, the Lord will punish you if you fall off the path. He will rub your nose in it. And these are the things that I learned from Jane about her religion and her belief. They're so sensible and so understandable. Jane was probably one of the most wonderful human beings I have ever known. I love and adore her. We spent countless time in each other's homes, and we hung out, and I got to really know all about her. And she said to me, Ron, I think you should become a Christian. I said, no, I can't, because I'm gay and there's a lot of stuff that's in the way. So she contacted a friend of hers who somehow got contact with somebody who contacted the Lord. And the Lord gave a message to her, and they wrote it, and Jane read it to me. And the message was, he's difficult, but he will come around in time. He's got to understand. And then it went on and on and on. Of course, I read it with a great deal of thank you so much. It's wonderful, but you know,
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe made a movie with Jane Russell called Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Marilyn was very screwed up on the set, so Jane said, "Go to my church, see if you like it, see what happens." So Marilyn Monroe went to Jane Russell's Christian church. The next day, Jane said to Marilyn, "So how'd you like it?" And she said, "Jane, it's not for me." Years later, Jane said to me, "You know, the Kennedys killed Monroe. And had Monroe gone to my church and learned, she wouldn't have been dead. She wouldn't have been killed." So there's a lot of ways that the Lord does things. As they say, he works in strange ways. And I believe that
Absolutely.
he sent that song to you because that lyric is going to do something today for us that we so need to have a lyric like that.
You know, when I look at my life and my career, which has been almost my whole life, um, I see it in little miracles, one after the other, and it's quite amazing when you look back and you know, I believe God's got a plan for everybody's life, and I believe I saw mine, and it was you know, I got a job. I started playing in a band when I was 13 years old. Worked in a record shop all through high school. Got to know the record business. Made it right out of high school, literally, with a song I had recorded 2 years before I graduated, Hanky Panky. And suddenly the record in 1966 exploded out of Pittsburgh. I'm immediately in New York. And, you know, through a wild series of I look at them as miraculous, because being taken out of Niles, Michigan, my little hometown, suddenly I'm in New York. You know, it was like winning the lottery. It was the record exploded out of Pittsburgh unexpectedly, only in America. You know, one of those stories. And so it was a 1 in a million shot. And then with a record like Hanky Panky, I could have been a one-hit wonder right there very easily.
Exactly. Now, before I turn you over to Jimmy, I want to ask you some personal questions because our fans want to know about you, not only your career, that sometimes is boring. Are you married? Do you have children? Where do you live?
I am married. I'm married. I have one son. His name is Brian, and he's grown up now and doing very well. He's a design engineer and a hell of a drummer. Um, all I can say is that I've been blessed my whole life, and you know, this is a business, rock and roll, that if you're lucky, you get 2 or 3 years. And we've been doing it literally for 54 years now, since 1966. And I thank the good Lord and the fans for the kind of longevity we've had.
I also want. I meant. What is that?
That's on his end, I think.
I mentioned Patti LaBelle. I mean, she's got a career, and Johnny Mathis, the two of them, their career is. I heard Johnny Mathis when I was 16 for the first time with Chances Are.
Right.
And John, and you know, I just saw Johnny not too long ago, and I asked him to come on the show, and he said, "Ron, I don't do that stuff. I don't do interviews." He's very shy. He's very he's only into music. He's not into himself. He doesn't want to discuss anything about his private life. Of course, we know why. But I mean, he just he's a lovely, wonderful human being, and it shows in his music. He is also
He's still working, right?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? And selling records, and he's also a Christian. So he's got that wonderful that way about him, that Christianity of goodness. I find that most Christians that I do know, they all have a sensibility and an awareness and a kindness, and they sense who you are and how you're troubled, and somehow they foam rubber it so it's not so intense. You know,
well, Johnny Mathis, what a talent! What an amazing man!
And have you ever met him?
I have not, and I'd love to.
Oh, I've met Johnny a few times, and I love him. Now, Patti LaBelle is also a Christian. She's a Christian also. So what I'm putting together is all these performers that are Christians are still around 60, 70 years later. The drug addict, devil worshippers, they're all dead. Notice. Think about it. No, all the guys that had fire, snakes, devil shit
No,
on
they're
them,
not.
they're dead.
Alice Cooper's been around
Oh,
forever.
Alice Cooper was a big phony anyway. Alice Cooper was theater. He was all theater. I'm talking about the ones that sing those devil songs. You know, they're all dead, but the Christians are still going.
So
Well,
anyway,
listen, I
Go
had
ahead.
my experience through of messing with chemicals back in the 60s, so I've got my own little story to tell, and I'm very fortunate to still be here.
Is that how you found Christianity? Because of use
No,
of
but
drugs?
it really helped. It was a big plus. In the end, it was a big plus. You know, I went through all my changes and was very lucky because I was playing with fire, and I was very lucky to come out the other side. And again, I feel very blessed.
So you say that because of becoming a Christian cured you of your drug abuse.
Well, I don't know that no, it didn't cure me, but it certainly helped. It was I went to the Betty Ford Center actually in 1986, and booze and Valium are the two of them that got me. And I was, you know, very, very blessed and fortunate to learn all the things I did about AA and all the rest. And so I got pulled out of the fire, and the good Lord and a good wife helped.
that's awesome.
You know what? Everything I thought you would be because of your music. Unfortunately, we cannot play your music. We're not allowed. Otherwise, Crystal Blue Persuasion would have been played on the show when we opened. We're not allowed to do that anymore.
Because
So-
we live
really?
stream to YouTube.
Yeah.
When you live stream to all these different platforms, because we're on like 5 platforms right now,
Yeah.
they shut you down, and they actually like shut the whole thing down, and they won't let you do it anymore. We used to be
Really?
able to do it. Just started
Yeah.
this year that
Oh,
you're not allowed
do
to
you
do
think for 1 minute I wouldn't have played Crystal Blue when we opened it? Are you
it.
crazy
Ever since
or
we
what?
knew the song, ever since we known you were coming on the show, we've been playing Crystal Blue Persuasion nonstop around the house. It's
I
been
walk
playing
around.
for days.
I was walking around singing it as I was getting ready to do our show. It's a phenomenal song. I don't know what's with it. If it's God, if it's magic, if it's Christ, I don't know what it is. But it grabs you and it holds you, and you don't forget it. And when you hear it, it's like brand new. Now I'm going to
Well,
hand
thank
you over.
you.
Now
I'm gonna
I get
hand
to,
you over
now
to
I get
Jimmy.
to talk a little bit. First of all, I want to brag a little bit. So first of all, you guys, you can follow Tommy James on Twitter. He's at TJ Shondells, SHONDELLS. He's got the most amazing website ever. It's TommyJames.com. And I want to give you a prop for this because
Ask him what happened to the Shondells.
hang on, wait. So it's TommyJames.com, and I have to tell you because like we have 2 guests a week. You have the most great website ever. It's very easy to navigate, and you have everything
you.
broken down. He has like a thing, and you can see all the people who've covered his songs, which there's like 300 people have covered his songs. Big, huge people, some of which are, by the way, I'm going to do some other bragging for you. Billy Idol, Tiffany, Bruce Springsteen, Kelly Clarkson, Prince, Dolly Parton, REM, Santana, Tom Jones, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, The Killers. There's a lot more, but that's just some of them. Then he's got another tab that shows you what movies have used his songs, and tons and tons of movies have used his songs. He's actually had songs in 55 films and 39 TV shows. Movies like Moneyball, Pirate Radio, We Are Marshall, Austin Powers, Forrest Gump, Cape Fear, The Italian Job. He's got 23 gold records, 9 platinum albums, 32 Billboard Top 100 hits. He's got his Sirius show, and one of the first artists to experiment with music videos 13 years before MTV, and I think that was with Hanky Panky, right?
Actually, the record that we first started doing videos on was Moni Moni.
Okay, Moni Moni.
And yeah, and see, it always, I'm talking back in like 68, it always made perfect sense to me that to make a film of your hit record. And I just, you know, it just, to me, it was a no-brainer. You just did it. But nobody on TV would play music videos back then. They were, by God, not going to let rock and roll people come and mess up TV. So the only place we could get Moni Moni played, the video, was in European movie theaters between the double features. So it was me and Daffy Duck for a long time.
That's fun. That's hilarious. Okay, that's actually like
But I
funny.
wanted to ask the question: what happened to the Shondells?
Well, the name Shondells stayed with me, and I have the Shondells that are with me now have been with me since the middle 80s. The original group and I still remain friends, and we kind of went our separate ways about 1970 because we were exhausted from touring, and we just were going to take 6 months off, and we never intended to not get back together again, but that's what happened. And so I did my own thing for a while, and then the group that I was producing in the studio became the New Shondells. I was producing back then for CBS and for Paramount, and I produced a group called Neon, and they worked with me on the road. So finally, in about the middle 70s, I just said, everybody calls us Tommy James and the Shondells. We might as well just have the name. I worked awfully hard to promote the name. So the group that's been with me now, this current generation of Shondells, I feel like Captain Kirk. I got 3 different generations of Shondells, have been with me since the middle 80s.
So
It's been a long ride.
In the chat room, they're asking a bunch of questions. One question they want to know is, based on your musical history, are there any artists of today that you listen to and that you like? Like, is there anybody, current artists, that you think, oh my God, these people are really good, and it's something that you like to listen to?
Well, yeah. I listen to a lot of different groups today. I'm amazed what has happened to the record business, though.
Yes.
The funny part is, what I'm into today a lot is smooth jazz. That's where the geniuses are right now. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I get asked a lot by young bands, what should we do? Because you can set your hair on fire, and it's very difficult to get discovered today. To get new music in front of the fans is one of the most difficult things there is to do. Radio, for the most part, has changed dramatically. It's all online now. And when you listen to radio, you're basically listening as an individual. Rock and roll is supposed to be a social affair. It's supposed to be something that's enjoyed by a lot of people at the same time, either at a rock concert or on the radio, that hundreds of thousands of other people are listening. It was never supposed to be listened to by one person at a time, doing a single song download. Honestly, the whole thrust of the industry has been changed so much by digital technology, but yet on the same page, you're all over the world. So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, I guess.
So we have a Cindy Lady Lake in the chat room, and she just wrote that she met you in Baltimore on New Year's Eve. I don't know how long ago, because she hasn't lived in Baltimore in a long time. In between sets at New Year's Eve, her name is Cindy, and she said the show was absolutely amazing. So maybe just say hi to Cindy for me.
Well, hi Cindy, how you doing?
There you
You
go.
gotta
Don't
stop
you-
meeting like this.
Yeah, but don't you love it? I was somewhere, I forgot where, and somebody came up to me and they said, "Hi, Ron, how are you?" And I said, "Fine." "Oh, don't you remember me?" And I said, "I'm sorry, but maybe." But well, it was back in 1973. We were at so and so's house. I said, "Really? What was? Tell me about it, because I don't remember." They remember us, but we don't remember them. I want
the
to.
thing of it is, I was going to say that I think the thing that I probably am the proudest of is my relationship with the fans. The fans are what keeps it going. The fans are everything. And honestly, I look out at our concert crowd now. I see literally 3 generations of people, and I'm just amazed by that. And I really owe them so much. They've been with me for all these years, and we keep getting new fans, thank God. And
Yep.
honestly, the relationship with the fans after a while becomes almost like their extended family. And
Well, my my, my what the hell is
Don't
that?
put the mic too close to your mouth.
No,
'cause
it's not me
I
doing
know,
it.
but it's coming out on his side.
Okay, my two daughters love Johnny Mathis and Peggy Lee because they
Right.
were raised in the house of Johnny Mathis and Peggy Lee. Now, I want to ask you a question, and I forgot her name, and my God, she's the biggest, the one that does Gypsy, the song I love. Who's that? Gypsy's a Gypsy.
I don't know.
Famous. She was with oh my God, 80 years old, brain dead. The most famous singer in the world. With the
Oh,
raspy
that one.
voice. With the raspy,
That one.
no, with the raspy voice. Oh my, Gypsy was the song. I'm a gypsy, ting-a-ling-a-ling.
Anyway, while you're thinking, because I got to keep going.
I can't think of her name. This is disgusting. I hate age. It's
Well,
like
there's
almost,
gypsy tramps and thieves.
I mean,
No, that's
anyway,
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. That's who I'm talking about.
Oh,
Steve-
yeah.
I mean, how could
I'm
you
a big
forget
fan
Stevie?
too.
How could you forget Stevie? Stevie said, I am no longer recording records because they are pirating and stealing them. I only do concerts. How do you feel about that?
Well, we're still recording. All I can say is that I'm very glad to still be able to record.
Yeah, but
and
are you
we have
making
our
money?
own we have our own record label, Aura Records, and we have our own distributor, and we can put out product whenever we want, and I'm very thrilled with that. We put out an album in 2019 called Alive, and it's the first studio album that I did in 10 years. And we got right on the radio. We went top 20 with the album on adult contemporary charts, and top 20 with both singles.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, but my question,
Haven't been on the charts in a long time. It's great to be back on the charts.
my question was, are you losing money because of the pirating? Because that's being done with everybody. We're very, very dear friends with, here we go again, names, I'm so bad. A friend from Arizona, my love.
CeCe Peniston.
CeCe Peniston is my love. I love her. She's a dear, dear close friend of mine. And she got so ripped off on Finally. They used it in a movie, never gave her credit. They're still robbing her blind. And she's doing all kinds of things to change it because she's made millions and millions of dollars were made on Finally, and she wound up with zippity doodah.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
Well, hey, I was on Roulette Records. Come on, what a question!
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hear about
Come
it.
on, what kind of a question is that?
Yeah, but Tommy, you're being
no, but
vague
what-
about. Tell me about how they screwed you on Roulette. Let's get it out there.
Well, Roulette Records, of course, crime doesn't pay. We know that, don't we? And but the ironic part is that I don't think we would have ever had the kind of success that we had on one of the corporate labels if it hadn't have been a little indie label. I don't think if we'd have been with Columbia or RCA or Atlantic that we would have had the kind of success we had, because we would have had so much competition.
Yeah, but how did Roulette screw you? It's not me. It's not my mind. How did Roulette screw you? That's
Well,
what I
they
want to know.
flat out.
Wait, what did the Genovese family have to do with screwing you?
I don't know that it was. I don't know that it was the Genovese family or just Morris Levy, the head of the label, but we didn't get paid our royalties. It was that simple. The mechanical royalties were just not going to happen. And so I had to constantly make a decision whether we stick it out on Roulette and take our lives in our hands by attempting to leave like Jimmy Rogers did. You know his story.
No, I don't. No. Tell us his story. It's not
All right.
my mind. It is.
Okay, come on, kids. Don't make me come over there. Now, what I'm saying is that Jimmy Rogers, who was a big artist on Roulette in the 50s, had honeycomb and kisses sweeter than wine, and
Yeah, I know who.
and did not get paid, and he sued Roulette, and he kept on suing him. He kept on coming, and finally, in I believe it was '68, he was stopped on an LA freeway by what he thought was cops, and they beat him, and they thought to death. They beat him unconscious, thinking he was dead. They left him for dead, and he survived the thing, but he was never the same after that. Couldn't sing, walked with a limp. He was just in terrible shape. And so we were very aware of what happens if we push things too far and get legal with them and all that. So we constantly had to make up our minds, and I had to make a decision whether to try to get off the label or to stay there, because we were having such great success. I think we ended up making the right decision by staying there, because we ended up having this great success with records, and we were making money from, from BMI and artists, our concerts, and writing money and stuff like that. But mechanical royalties were just not going to happen, and so that we tallied it up at the end when we left Roulette, and when I left Roulette. And it came out to roughly $40 million that we didn't get paid.
In my opinion, knowing some of the mobsters growing up with them as a kid in Brooklyn, I know probably most of the biggies. They are such fans of actors and musicians. They love to be in movies. They love to hang around with theater people and movie people. I don't think that they would not want to pay you. The ones that I knew were honest guys. I mean, they only hurt each other if they betrayed each other. But if you did business with them and you were on the square and you did what you were supposed to, they would pay. They were honorable. I suspect that it was the fellow you said that instigated a riot and went back and gave them a lot of bullshit about you. Bad talk, lies. He must have said terrible things that you said, and that's how come they were worried. But yes, you did the right thing staying. I would have advised you on that. You absolutely did the right thing staying.
Wow, $40 million. That's a lot of money.
But did you ever get any of the $40 million?
Yes, not directly from them, but when Morris Levy was arrested in 1986, and he was put on trial for racketeering and a bunch of other things, and sold the company. He got rid of the company. He sold the publishing, which ended up with Sony, and he sold the masters, the Roulette Records itself, that ended up with Warner Brothers. And so when he sold the company, suddenly I started getting paid royalties that were coming as of that time. I didn't get the back royalties, but I got the.
He was the snake. Definitely, he was. Did they bump him off? They should have knocked him off.
Well, that was a pretty involved story. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, though, is that I don't know if I'd have had all that money at that time. I'm not sure I would have survived, to be perfectly honest with you, the shape I was in. But the bottom line is that, yes, we got a fair chunk of that back. And so, it all worked out in the end. Plus that, we're still going, and so things are still happening. So it wasn't like that was a dead end.
Now, where do you live?
I live in New Jersey.
Oh, in Jersey. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Are you in Palm Springs? Did I hear you say?
Yes, we're Palm Springs. But
I used to come out after I got out of the Betty Ford Center, which is over in Rancho Mirage. I leased a place out there. In fact, I leased Barry Manilow's house out in Palm Springs.
Okay,
and it was at the north end of town. It was up in
we live
Thomas.
We live right down the hill from him. So the next time you're in town, you give us a buzz, or I'm going to call the Genovese family and we're going to fix your wagon.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, right. Well, I love Palm Springs, so that's what I'm trying to say. I really
Yeah, it's
love it.
beautiful.
Don't love it in August, but the rest of the year it's wonderful.
No, you can fry an egg in August on the
Yes.
sidewalk.
Fry your brains, let alone
I
that.
just
Yeah.
I
want to finalize this. My cousin Maria Genovese has passed away. So I no longer have any affiliation or contact with knowing what goes on in that world of supposedly mafia, which is no longer existing. It's all been dissolved. The Russians and the Asian mafia have taken over. The Italian mafia they're all third generation businessmen, bankers, lawyers. They've gone legit. So not to worry. Nobody's going to harm you because I'll see to it that they don't.
you gotta like.
Well, you know, it's funny because as we were writing this book, we got about a third of the way into it, and we were going to write a book called Crimson and Clover. Martin Fitzpatrick, my co-author, and myself, and we were going to write a book called Crimson Clover about making hits and about record companies and all that stuff. And it would have been an interesting book, but as we got into it, we realized that if we don't tell the Roulette story, we're really missing the boat. We're cheating ourselves and everybody else because that really is the story. And but I was very nervous about finishing the book and naming all the names and stuff. And so finally, let me finish it. In 1985, I believe it was, or 95. Oh, sure. What was it? Well, anyway, the guy who was running the family, Vinny the Chin Gigante,
You're going, not us.
died in prison, and roulette regulars, as I call them, he used to go up there all the time. And so we felt we could go ahead and finish the book. And so that's what we did. And as soon as we got the thing finished, we got sounded on by the book company. It was Simon and Schuster. And then suddenly the movie rights and the Broadway rights. So that's how the book got written. And when the movie is finished, they're going to do a Broadway show. And at least that's the plan. And all the mob guys are going to be singing and dancing. That's going to be a very different kind of thing from the movie.
Tommy, let me tell you something. They're all dead. They're all old. And
I
they're
know.
all dead. So you don't have to worry. All the guys that you knew from Roulette are gone.
Yes, they are.
And their kids couldn't care less. I mean, my cousin Maria was so detached from the Genovese family, she couldn't have cared less. All those young third generation Genovese people, and all the other the people I knew in Brooklyn, there's no such thing anymore as the Italian mafia. Trust me. People say that it is, and they think no. They're all businessmen now. They don't have to do.
You're quite right. You're very right about that.
Well, I know. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a New Yorker native, and I'm Italian, and I grew up with these guys. You know, I'm 80 years old. I knew Gotti. I knew everybody. You know, everybody.
Yeah.
I knew them as nice people. You know, I would go to parties, and they would be dancing with the children. I never saw anything what the Italians did that was bad. I never saw killing, shooting, or anything. They treated their wives wonderfully, and they treated their girlfriends better. I mean, they were generous people. They were kind to me and my then wife. We went to their weddings. We went to their christenings. And I never found the Italian organized crime to be anything but nice people. Just don't betray them. They're not nice people if you do. They'll kill you.
True enough.
So
listen, I must tell you, I thank you so much. It's been wonderful talking with you.
before we go, hold on.
You're gonna come to our house when you come to Palm Springs, and we're gonna cook.
Love to.
You like Italian food?
Love to. Much my favorite.
Good. We'll have it out in the garden.
First of all, Eileen
It's
just
a
sent
date.
me.
It's a date.
Eileen just sent me a text message saying hello. You know, Eileen, she's like a world-renowned rock star journalist.
Yeah.
I love her.
She interviews
We had
all
such
the
a
big
great
stars.
talk. We had a great talk on the phone yesterday.
So she says hi, and she wants you. She just says hi. I'm supposed to say hello to you, so you can say hi to Eileen.
Have you ever seen her?
Well, say hi back.
Have you ever seen Eileen?
I've never seen her, but I talked with her for over an hour on the phone
yesterday.
yesterday.
She is a sexy blonde with a size 48X bust. She's got boobs that when she turns a corner, the tits go first and she comes second. She is so built and sexy. It's, I don't know what her magic is, but every guy I know wants to go to bed with her. It's amazing what magic this girl has. And she is
I don't think it's magic. I think you just hit the nail on the head.
No, but she is the sweetest person in the world. And she is so kind and loving and generous and giving. I mean, she'll be your pal, and she's a real pal. She's not a phony broad. I adore Eileen. She's one of my favorite people.
She's smart too.
World. Oh,
yes,
she's smart.
Very smart.
She knows her rock and roll stuff. She's been chasing what's his name forever. What's his name?
Adam Ant.
Adam Ant. She's crazy about Adam Ant.
She wrote a book called "Waiting for Adam," just about on her quest to interview Adam Ant. It's a fabulous book.
And she's been chasing him around the world. She goes everywhere he's got a concert. She's like a teenager. I love it.
So also, then you guys.
Wait. One more question. Do you have groupies?
Pardon me?
Do you have groupies at our ages, at your age? Do you still have groupies?
Well, I'm not sure. I gotta stop them at the autograph tables after the show. That's where they come around.
Oh, but nobody's throwing hotel keys or panties on the stage.
No, nothing like that anymore. I keep it clean. You know what I mean? I'm a family man.
Those days are gone. I remember years and years ago at the concert, girls who would take their bras off their panties and throw them on the stage for the rock performers. And of course, the guys, a lot of them in the green room afterwards had a lot of fun. So
every now and then I get, support hose.
or somebody throws a walker up on the stage. No, but I remember, I won't mention who it is, but a very famous rock and roll star, very famous. He said that the green room, there was more sex going on in the green room than in a whorehouse. It's true. I mean, I won't. Who was it that said that?
You don't even know. So
yes, I do remember. I know. Big star.
We got to go though. Huh? He's got to go too. So everybody, listen up. This is Tommy James. You can follow him on Twitter. It's at TJ Shondells. Go to his website. And Facebook. Also, you want to go to his, I'm a big Twitter person, so I always say, he's also, you guys can also find him on Instagram. I followed him on Instagram. You can go to TommyJames.com. Really check out his website because he really has it set up beautiful, and you can find out everything about him on his website. It's one of the nicest laid out websites I've ever seen. We want to thank you for coming on the show. You were fabulous.
Would you friend me on Facebook? It's Ron Russell Show. I wrote so much. You got to see what I did on my page today about you. You'll be so flattered. Look it up, Ron Russell Show on Facebook. Let's be friends because, I can get what you're doing out to a tremendous amount of people. I have 4 million.
We'll do it. Absolutely.
So let's do it. Tommy, again, indeed, a pleasure, a fabulous pleasure to meet someone who created such wonderment. That song is fabulous.
Well, God bless you guys, and I appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you, Tommy.
And may the Lord bless you always.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yay.
Wow, was that an interview? Was he not phenomenal? I am so thrilled because that song means so much to me. So much to me.
So you guys, real quick, a little commercial. Hope everybody enjoyed that. I know a lot of people might not know who he is, our younger audience, but you should look him up because he's basically he's an icon in the music world, and his music never grows old. It's fabulous. It's really, really good. So check it out.
And now knowing him, he's a nice guy, and I'm on the level about when he comes in. I mean, Barry Manilow lives up the road from us where Barbara Streisand is. They're all up on the hill. We're in the poor part. We're in the valley. They're in the mountain. So they look down on us. They say, look at the poor people down in the valley.
So here's what's up then, you guys. You can listen to the Jimmy Star Show, you guys, weekly, where every Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time or 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're on W4CY Radio. We're on K4HD Radio in St. Louis, Yes, K4HD Radio in LA, Jackalope Radio in St. Louis. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audio Boom, Podomatic, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker, Apple TV, Podbean, Spotify, and Pandora. We're on all the different platforms. It's a lot of fun. We're having a good time. Please check us out on iHeartRadio or iTunes because we like those a lot. But we're very popular on SoundCloud too. And Tina Davidson joined us in the chat room, and Stefan's in the chat room. She says she loves Barry Manilow. Yeah, he lives down the street. We're not really like friendly with him, but he lives down the street.
I have seen Barry at La Villa Rose restaurant here in town, and a fan went up to him at the restaurant, and Barry wasn't really very nice to him. So I thought, well, he was eating, and the fans don't realize that when you're eating and having a conversation with the people you're dining with, you really don't want to be interrupted and asked if you could have a picture taken. When you got French food hanging out of your mouth, snails or something. So I can't blame Barry, but I've seen Barry around. Barry doesn't even look human. If he doesn't stop putting crap in his face and lifts and fillers and whatever, he doesn't look human anymore. He looks like wax. He looks like one of Joe Castro's wax faces.
So there's a lot of people too have joined us, and I don't know if I said hi to everybody, but Brad's in the chat room. Brad Pittman, hello, what's up? Teresa Sabin is there. I don't know if we said hi, but Teresa, you're so cool. I have to tell you, I really appreciate all the things that you do, and B's there, and Robert Dumond is there, and Dawn, I hope you're well. I don't know if Ron wore a watch for you today or not. Did you wear a watch today?
Well, today I wore a black watch, and it's the watch that I wear that tells me how many steps I take, what my pressure is, what my heart rate is, what my erections are, all that stuff. So it's a pretty black watch. Everybody has these. What are they called?
It's a Fitbit.
Who?
Fitbit.
The fuck is a Fitbit?
A Fitbit.
I had never heard of such a thing.
All right, so now we're gonna bring in our next guest. Everybody, they say he's in the chat room in the green room. So let's go ahead and bring him in, and let's make sure we can hear him, and then we'll introduce him and get rocking and rolling. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
What's up, Jimmy and Ron? How are you doing?
There we go. Oh, very good. All right, so we can hear and see you well. This is good. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented actor, writer, producer, Dave Sheridan. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here. This is awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have fun. So you already know Ron, so I'm not going to really introduce him, but
I know Ron intimately.
But we have a chat room.
We share a dressing room.
That's
A dressing room. So Ron wears those nice tight, what do you call it, a G-string or something?
It is.
Hold on, we have a chat room full of people. Wait, let me finish.
You fucking introduce me now. Let me say something, you big old homo. Hey, over there. Did you hear what's going on over there? There's a big rat. The rat can eat you up. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about the rat? Look at the rat. It's behind you. That's a little bit from our movie that we shared together.
Hang on.
Meanwhile, you're terrific. I want you to know, I want everybody out there to know before we get any further. This man, if he's able to tell you some of the shit that he told me, is an incredibly wonderful human being and a phenomenal person.
So hold on. We have a chat room, literally.
And a good actor, by the way. Watch Rat. He's fabulous in Rat. He steals the show.
Not out yet. So hold on. There's
a freaking rat.
You steal the show in that because you brought the comedy to it that it needed.
You're a big part of the trailer, though, which is, I think that's hilarious because I know that you and Thomas Churchill butted heads. We still do. We still do. Tommy and I are friends we're friends for years. Exactly.
I love Church and
it's
Church.
That kind of friendship. Right. Exactly.
And I tell him all the time, stop writing the same fucking shit over and over again. It's 10 people. They all get killed one at a time and by somebody different. A mummy, a vampire, an alien. Why don't you write something really interesting and different? I'm so sick of the movies I'm in. Every one of them are the same.
Yeah.
Everybody killed little by little.
I think even he aspires to write greater stuff, but we're limited to what we can get made. You know what I mean? He's in a hole now, or in a lane where there's people that want to fund his movies. What funding he can get. These are the type of movies. You have to go with what's put.
Well, he's got a quick mind. He saw me in Clown Fear. I played Minister McFadden, a phony minister a little light in the loafers. And right away when he was on the show last week, he said, Ron, I'm going to write a movie about a minister. You could be the minister who kills the people he marries. So you know what I mean? His mind just doesn't stop. It automatically, you throw a name at him like werewolf, and there's a movie, you know? Or you throw a word like big snake, and there's a movie. I love Church. Church and I are buddies. We're both from Brooklyn. We both fight it out. You know, we're not sissies. We're tough guys. We know how to handle our friendship.
So
I just
hold
think
on.
it's hilarious that you're in the trailer as much as you are. You're a big part of the trailer. You know.
Well, that was my whole scene.
Yeah, but I don't even think I didn't even think he was in the trailer at all. I didn't see him in the trailer.
Yeah,
I think some ugly faces. But the culprit was not Church, by the way. The culprit was my person I was working with, one of the fellas I was working with, who was making fun of me and my age and my memory and stuff. And it was, you know, if it was a union production, he would have been called on charges, because you're not allowed to do that, to intimidate a fellow actor. I think he was afraid of the fact that I could do a Brooklyn accent better than anybody, because I'm from Brooklyn, and that I could look like a hood and not like a phony hood, like from you know, a musical, a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
Hold on. So first of all, Dave, literally, we have a chat room filled with people, all countries. Wait, let me
shut the fuck up for a minute. Take your hat off. Take your hat off. You're so handsome.
Yeah.
You got gorgeous hair. You're a handsome guy.
I know.
Jesus.
But
what do you want? Look how handsome this guy is.
It's
Take
still
the
there.
hat.
51. I'll be 52. I'll be 52 pretty soon. So I'm hanging in there.
No, you look fabulous.
Take the hat off. Your hair looks good.
Look, it's messy.
No, you look sexy. You look like bedhead. The women get that.
I'm at the rodeo. I'm at the rodeo now. Everyone's a rodeo person now in LA. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna come there and knock the shit out.
So hold on, we have it literally. So see, please say hello to the chat room. First of all, there's like 10 countries represented. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Oh, aloha, avidaze. Well, domo arigato.
There you go.
Countries?
Then you have a big fan. Her name is Dawn Hinton. She's like writing on here. I watched this last night. She watched like all your shit in like one night because you're coming on the show today. So give a shout out to Dawn and say hi to Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn. Get some Visine. You know, rest those eyes now.
You know, we have categories in movie. There's the heavy drama. There's the romantic ones. Well, there's also a horror category. This fella that we're interviewing right now happens to be one of the #1 top actors in horror films. He is wanted by everybody. And I don't think he works for $200 a day like I did.
Actually, I think it's you're I don't know why this shit's going in and out now. God dang it.
Because you're cheap and you don't buy good fucking equipment.
No, so hold on. So first of all, you guys, just so you know where might know Dave Sheridan from, first of all, because he's actually in a lot of horror movies, but he's actually like I think your biggest films are really more like spoof movies, like the horror spoofs and the comedy. So actually you're really a comedy actor. Scary Movie, you guys, he plays Doofy in Scary Movie, which is like probably is actually the best of all the spoof movies that were ever made, is Scary Movie.
Thank you.
He plays
Doofy for you right now.
Yeah, do Doofy.
Hey, America. Special up to Doofy here. Yeah. I'm on the Jimmy Star and Ron show. It's good. I like them. Yeah.
Oh God. How a handsome man can make his face so ugly is amazing. Good acting.
The only part that people go, do you ever get recognized as Doofy? But I don't look like that.
No,
when I do get recognized as him, like I'm out with my family and we're waiting to get a table at a restaurant, and the hostess will be like, with the menus, did you play Doofy? And I was going, was I like looking at the table going, good table? I'm like, did I just shot? I mean, there might be moments that I accidentally shart my pants, you know what I mean? And maybe I do look like Doofy, so.
I think it's such a great...
No, I got to tell you something. You're far better looking in person than you are right now on our screen.
That's because I didn't do my hair, Ron.
No, you're really a very handsome fellow, nicely built, with a wonderful personality. Now, I'm going to tread lightly on this because it may be too private. You may not want to discuss it. Tell us a little bit about your home life, if you want to, and your wife, and how wonderful of a husband you are.
I always say I'm a work in progress husband because it's never gonna, you're never gonna rise to the level of what a woman wants you to be. I wish I went back and checked Let's Be Gay card. You know what I mean? So, so I have a wife and 2 kids. A boy, 13. He's turning 13 on Halloween. A couple days.
Okay.
My daughter is 14, going on 21, and so that's a lot of fun. And my wife and I are we met freshman year of college, so we've been together for 32 years, and so yeah, loving my life, love at first sight. Although I saw her months before she saw me, you know what I mean? Like in college, I'd see her bopping around. And what happened was, it actually was serendipitous. Was I had this loft. I lived in an area where there was these, like, you would get these old warehouses and everyone would fix them up and be lofts. And this was in New Jersey, outside New York City. And to afford our rent, we would have parties, giant parties at my place, and people would just end up wasted, alcohol poisoning, So this one girl was so drunk and thrown up and passed out. And the girl that took care of her, my roommate started dating that girl. Her name was Liz. But Liz's roommate was my wife's, Laura, who I was already. And then she said, "You need to meet my roommate. You need to meet my roommate," which was already a girl. My wife, I was already kind of stalking her for 6 months, and it just worked out that this other chick was like, "You got to meet her." So it made it seem like she introduced me, but really I was. She was already on my radar. So,
I love it.
yeah.
I think it's fabulous. So hold on.
For one thing, I want to say, I hope we work together again because you were nice to work with, and I want to thank you for coming.
I loved working with you. I loved working with you.
Wait, I want to thank you for coming to my defense because everybody thought that the situation was not what it was. They all got the wrong idea or the wrong story. Felicia as well. And you were the only one that stuck up for me and came to my defense. And for that, I owe you a dinner. So when your wife come to Palm Springs, give us a call.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding either. I'm serious. When you come, we would love to have you over.
Yeah. I think about you guys all the time, actually, because of Palm Springs. I'm like, because I want to go out there, and I'm like, oh, wait, I know these guys. We got to go out there. It'll be a blast. So.
I know it'll be a blast, and we'll have some.
If this stupid fucking virus goes away.
Yeah.
So first of all, you guys.
Ron, I think you're going to see it disappear real quickly after November 3rd.
I think so too.
After the election, I agree with you 100%.
So you guys, we actually met Dave. We were working
long ago.
And he was doing a movie called Killer Rose with Felissa Rose, which we love. Felissa Rose, she's the coolest.
I love Felissa. She's such a level-headed broad.
And so we went there, and we met him, and he looked totally different. And
you remember what I looked like on that, right?
Yeah, you had like a mullet or a mohawk. Or something.
I had like a faux hawk, like a shaved mohawk thing with a big mustache and tattoos.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't even know who you were. And one thing I have to say about your acting is probably why you've been so successful is because you're a real character actor. Like you really know how to be a chameleon. Like you look different every time I see you. Like I probably wouldn't even recognize you half the time walking down the street because every time I see you, you look different. And so it's like, we don't even know what you look like. Now we know what you look like.
No, but when I first met him and he had the mohawk, I don't remember what I said, but me, I have balls. I don't give a shit. I say what I think. I have no filter. When I saw the hairdo, I think I said to him, like, is that necessary? Like you walk around with that? And I don't remember. You remember what I said to you? It probably was very offensive, but I can be offensive in a humorous way. But anyway, I remember you so well with that Mohawk,
yes. With that movie, Killer Rose, it hasn't come out yet, right?
No, whatever happened?
December. In fact, we have a call with the director to get the final thing delivered very soon. So I've been told December it'll finally come out. So
I love that. So you guys, here's some stuff you've seen him in, even though you might not even recognize him because he looks so different now. You might not recognize him, but he was in Sky Sharks. We've had half the cast of Sky Sharks on our show. Basically,
I can't.
Barbara,
That's not
Lynn
out yet. Is
Lowry,
that out?
John Birch. I don't even know if it's out, but like we've had everybody on our show about talking about it. Bloodcraft, which I like because we've had Augie Duke and Michael Welch on the show. Victor Crowley, which is a huge horror franchise, phenomenal one. And it's so cool that you're actually in the one with Felissa Rose in the same one. You guys are in the same one.
That's the first film we shot together, but I met her one other time, similar to like my wife. Like, she doesn't remember that I met her, but it was that, we do these conventions, and Felissa's always done up at she leaves the house done up, you know what I mean? Every day to go to the store. But at the conventions, she's showing her better assets.
Yeah,
she's a typical Jersey Italian chick.
I love the Victor Crowley movies. I've been friends with Kane for like 15 years, and he's like really cool. And we've had Tyler Main on the show, and Tiffany Sheffis, and Danielle Harris. We've had all of them on the show in the past, and so like I think Victor Crowley is a really like great film.
And my sweet dearest closest friend is Sadie Katz, who I love and adore.
She's not in Victor Crowley though.
No, I know, but I have to throw her name in because I wouldn't leave it out.
Might have came to set. I don't remember, but yeah, I love Sadie. Sadie's great.
You know Sadie.
Then you guys
Sadie and I almost shot a film in Italy.
That was the one. Yeah,
it would have been last year.
Shot it.
Sadie shot it.
She's got more balls than me because basically they were like, "You're going to go out. You're going to." First of all, they said you're going to. It's near Milan, so I go Milan. That's great. But then then I saw where it was, and it was like 2 hours outside Milan, in the middle of it was like one of these like where they grow spaghetti on the tree type of. Like,
it's real country. She told me that you didn't want to be away from your family that long.
That's what it was. Not for that amount of the money. If it was in America, the money would have been great, but to travel and then to be gone that long and then to travel back and to be staying somewhere where I didn't know anyone, like how do I look when let's get for instance Thomas things, big freaking rat. If that thing went sideways, I get in my car, we're in Palmdale, and I drive home. I go, all right, I'm out of here. If you punch Thomas out and then you took gasoline and you burned the whole thing down, Ron, which I held you back on. I was like, Ron, don't do it. I'm like, I'm going to fucking burn this place down. This can't be okay. Fuck yeah. But I could have just gotten my car and left. But if something like that happens in Milan and I don't know anyone, then I'm like, what do I do? So, but it really was the family factor. And my wife is disabled. So it's hard for me to.
That's the point I wanted to get to. I didn't want to bring it up. But folks, this man takes care of his wife better than any other human being can. The stories that he said and how much he loves his wife and how he cares for her.
It's an inspiration.
That's why I love this guy. And I was so happy he was coming on the show because anyone that, I had a lover when I was 19 and 46 years later, he was in an auto accident and developed brain damage and then pancreatic cancer. And I cared for him the whole 2 years. I know what that's like. And I just have such a respect for one human who takes care of another human. And this guy does it. And he's a terrific fella.
Well, hey,
besides being a great actor.
Honestly, I really, this is probably the first podcast where we ever brought something like that up. So because I do kind of keep that stuff private, but it's all good because I brought it up. But I really appreciate I love the fact that we haven't seen each other in 2 years probably, right?
Yep, almost.
I have no idea. I'm 80 years old. What the fuck do I know from? I don't even know where I am today. What
almost 2 years.
Question Ron's brain, 80 years old, and you remember stuff like that. And I love the fact that shows you're listening too. You know what I mean? Which is,
of course, I listen. If it's important, I listen. If it's not important, I forget it. That's why Jimmy yells at me. He said, "Didn't you hear?"
Who?
I said that I don't. My brain has very little capacity left to remember, and I'm not going to use it up on bullshit and stupid shit.
Yeah.
If it's important stuff to me and it moves me emotionally, I listen. And it made me have a great respect for you because I know how much you love your family, and I love my daughters also. And it's very hard being the breadwinner, working and taking care of a family. It's not easy. I've been there. I know what it's about. So has Angela Joseph, who's in our chat room, and so has Sherry Davis. Sherry has an autistic daughter, and and Sherry's husband was a dick and she's on her own. Actors have a life too. We're not just on the screen and you see us as happy-go-lucky, whatever the fuck we're supposed to be. We have lives. We suffer just as you all do.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And now we're going downhill. I don't go down.
Yeah, we're going back up now again.
I'm
he does though. He
positive.
talks about you often about the people that we know who don't have the easiest lives yet, who are happy working and really taking care of things and have a passion for it and everything. And you're one of a few, in Hollywood that we like knowing. So it's very admirable.
Because I'm in the business 64 years. And in my 64 years of television and film, I have met many, many actors, famous ones, who would be talking at lunch or something, and they'd say, oh, so-and-so, fuck her. She's a douchebag and blah, 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 blah. And she might die soon. And it turned out it was his wife. I mean, I thought horrible. Come on. No, Hollywood is such an I, me place to be. Everybody's so involved with their career, their looks, and themselves. God forbid they gain a pound or they get a wrinkle, they have a stroke. So they're really not that much involved with the family. Now, take Betty Davis, for an example, who I knew very well. I asked her one day, I had the balls to ask her, I said, what was really about that book and that crap that she wrote? She said, my daughter was very jealous of my career in Hollywood. Now, Jane Russell, who was my best friend, my buddy, my sister, I said to her, Jane, how come your kids came out so screwed up? She said, Ron, they really hate Hollywood, and they hated me making movies. They wanted a mother. She said, and unfortunately, I got hooked on booze and was a drunken mother, and I wasn't a very good mother. So most of the people, Terry Moore, by the way, who's a great actress, she has a wonderful son who loves her.
Or you probably know him. Do you know Grant Kramer?
Grant Kramer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, his mom is my buddy Terry Moore, and she's a famous actress from the 50s. And so many that I know that their children don't like them because they weren't home. They 6 o'clock call at studio rehearsals and script readings and table readings and all that shit, publicity. Kids, Lana Turner, that's the story I got to tell you.
We got to go.
Lana Turner's daughter is my friend for years. And she said to me, I would get up in the morning and wait by my mother's double doors to her bedroom, sitting on the floor, waiting for my mother to come out. In went hair and makeup and clothes. My mother was made up, hairdos done, and my mother came out and she'd say, oh, good morning, Cheryl. Kiss mommy, but no, not on the face. Kiss my little hand. And Cheryl would kiss Lana Turner's hand, not to muss mommy. And Cheryl Crane rejected it. She really resented it terribly. But here you are, a working father who cares for a handicapped wife who you love and adore and 2 children. Hey, my hat's off to you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. And I would say I'm in a position now, my daughter's 14. I know it's that age where there's some pushing away. You know what I mean? And I think I'm trying to decide how to handle that in the sense of like,
you don't.
You got to give them the freedom, right? And just let it. When girls become a certain age, they don't want anything to do with their parents. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's my daughter. I want my youngest daughter is 43, and she's still pushing me away.
Right.
It's in their blood, because when a father is like you or myself, a very doting, overdoing father, they feel smothered. And they're frightened of that, so they run away. My eldest daughter loves it. You could smother her forever. She's a smotherer. But the younger one is a wildcat. She's the actress, by the way, the drama queen. She's a real actress. She's made movies. And so I don't think when they push away, she comes back when she has a kid or a husband, they come back.
So hold on though.
Not to worry. It's nothing to do with you.
I think that
you didn't do anything to push her away.
Yeah, that's just the way. That's just kids growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't feel guilty. Don't feel you did anything because you didn't. Do your kids get to see your movies? Because some of your movies have a little bit of adult content. Maybe they can't see them yet.
Most of them do. So they haven't seen too many. We're like as Doofy, they haven't seen Scary Movie, and now they're probably at the age they can see it. But Doofy is a meme on the internet. And during this election and the COVID, he had one. It's like, I'm essential. He had another one. Like there's just it's the same photo, but people keep changing what it said, but it's all over the place. And so that's probably my biggest thing with my kids, more than movies, is like, I'm a meme, right? Look, I'm a meme, because they'll be watching the internet, and there's YouTube channels that just put memes up over and over again, where the guy reviews, they just read the memes, and so it's just kind of like you're just watching a whole bunch of memes at once and laughing at some of them, some you're not.
Are you still living in Jersey?
No, I'm in California. Yeah.
I thought you were living in Jersey.
At that time I was. At that time I was in North Carolina, but
right, North Carolina. So you
North
moved to
Carolina, but we grew up in New Jersey, and her parents moved down to North Carolina, and we moved out there so they could help me a little bit. But then when I went out to North Carolina, they stopped the film tax, the rebate stuff.
Right.
So everything went to Georgia, and all my jobs were 4 hours away. And I was like, well, I could just go back to California if this is the situation. So then I just came back because there's more work out here.
Well, I know I'm in a movie after Christmas in Atlanta, and a couple of films in Atlanta, and I'm in I think
Atlanta still got the tax credit.
I think I'm in
Yeah,
two.
they do.
I'm in two films here in LA. I can't talk about them on the air, but in private we will. Let me see if I can drop your name and maybe get you again.
He's working a lot.
Yeah, but he can work some more.
I'm always up for work, though. Drop my name, please.
Okay, we'll drop it. So let's go back. I want to go back to the career a little bit, because I want to get some questions. So you guys, besides Scary Movie, the other like spoof movies he did is A Haunted House 2, and 50 Shades of Black, which was fucking hilarious.
That's hilarious.
That was very hilarious. So
and you were so good.
Basically, you're like all of Marlon Wayans' films. How did you meet Marlon Wayans? Because that had to be like a huge thing, since he keeps casting you. Obviously, he likes the work that you do. How did that all come about, or how did you get Doofy in the first place?
Okay, so Doofy was actually a character named Chip that I was performing at the Second City in Chicago. And so they saw Chip already, the Dimension Films, and they basically said, we want this guy to play Doofy, And so I took the Chip character, and they already had the character named Doofy in the movie because it's off of Dewey. And we just we had a meeting, and it worked out. And but I actually went into the audition meeting with Keenan, and at that point it was Keenan Ivory Wayans. Marlon was so Keenan was the patriarch of the whole Wayans family from In Living Color and stuff. And if you look at I'm not going to say I'm a Jim Carrey, but when I was younger and doing those broad characters, that was the natural comparison, was like, oh, you could be like a Jim Carrey. You're the next Jim Carrey, that kind of thing. So that's what got Keenan's attention, because he basically blew up Jim Carrey, and he said, but I went in as character, and then I left. And at this time, it was 1999. I had a pager. I didn't have a cell phone. Back then it was pagers. Yeah, pagers. So I left. Hold on, I got 20% battery. I can plug the phone in. I left the audition, and then I get this page from New York. This was in LA. And so I had to go find a cell phone. I had to pay it was like a $250 or something to call New York. But I knew that was Miramax. And so they said, what the fuck did you do? I go, what do you mean? It was great. I went in as Doofy. I fucked around. I didn't do the lines or anything. I just made a mess and was putting my hands in his face and telling him to smell my finger and stuff. And they said, no, he thinks we sent somebody in that is mentally challenged. You have to go back and show him who you are. And so I went back. I drove back, and he was just laughing. He was just like, dude, you came in committed, and I didn't know what to think of you, and I didn't know if you were real or not. And he said, so yeah, and he's like, and he didn't say you got the part, but by what he said next, I know I had the part. He goes, do me a favor. Next week when we have the cast read through, come back in as the character again and just fuck with everybody. I won't tell anybody. And then I did that. I did that at the read through. And Anna Faris was 17, and she was scared shitless of me, and all these other people what the hell did we get ourselves into? Who is this guy, And then of course he revealed, no, it's Dave. He's an actor. He's playing the character. And then everyone laughed and goes, do us a favor. when we start shooting, just be the character the whole time for the crew. We won't let the crew know. So the joke kept like, you know what I'm saying? It kept going for like.
This happened to me a long time ago. I was not auditioning. I'm sorry. I was hired as a drag queen, playing an old broken down drag queen in the Greenwich Village, a drag club. And they were auditioning leading men for me. Now here I am standing 6 feet tall, a tough Brooklyn guy, as a man. And I was reading lines with this one guy, and the guy looked at me. He said, "I'm afraid of him." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "He's scary. He's gonna be a woman." Oh my God.
Actually, Ron looks good in drag too.
Yeah. But anyway, so I remember that is happening.
Oh, they want to know in the chat room if you ever do Doofy, like if you were driving through the drive-thru or something. Have you ever like fucked with people and just done Doofy?
Maybe once with Doofy, but I do. Man, I fuck with the driving people all the time. It pisses my family off because, my wife's like, they're going to wreck our order. Because I'm messing with them I can't help it though. And I always do the, I was like the thing that I like, can we get the, and fries? And they're like, what? Shake, fries, but they don't see that. They just hear like it's breaking up, and they're like, "You're breaking up." My wife's like, "Stop that!" It's like,
so you guys, other things you've seen him in. Actually, I was in Sex Drive when you shot Sex Drive. I didn't know who you were probably back in the day. I'm an extra in it only, but I'm in it like all over the place.
Nice.
And he was in the Devil's Rejects, you guys, with every horror icon on the planet. The Fighting Temptations, Corky Romano, Bubble Boy, Ghost World. I mean, you have quite a diverse resume. I don't really see you, even though you have 2 huge horror movies. I don't see you so much as a horror movie as I see you as a comedic actor.
And I started out. I love to make people laugh, and so I was at the Second City in Chicago, so I was that, and I worked at Saturday Night Live before that for a year and a half, and so. 1975, Saturday Night Live aired, and I was in kindergarten. And I remember pretending I was sleeping on the couch so I could stay up to watch Saturday Night Live that first season. But really, here's the funny thing. It was because of Mr. Bill. Do you remember the little claymation?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill.
Like that's initially what drew me to Saturday Night Live was the Mr. Bill stuff. I wanted to stay up and watch that. But then I started like getting the humor. But there was definitely humor that I wasn't getting. And there was actually adult humor that I got, but I couldn't laugh because I didn't want my dad to know I was getting that humor. You know what I mean? He would have been like, whoa. Because I remember there was like this like spaceship. It was like a circular spaceship, and that was the women, and the men were in this like phallic spaceship, and then it like crashed. You know? What I mean? And it was so funny, and I wanted to laugh at that, but I couldn't let him know I knew what this was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, how old were you?
Yeah, I was like 6, kindergarten. Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding! When Mr. Bill came out, you were 6.
75. Yeah.
I was about 35 years old. No, 37 years old when Mr. Bill came out. And I loved Mr. Bill. They used to squash him all the time.
So yeah, exactly, right? The same ending every time.
The cutest thing.
So if you had a bucket list, who's an actor and an actress that you would like to work with that you haven't had a chance, because I know you've worked with everybody, haven't had a chance to work with yet, and what movie, if you could have been in any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Okay, so there's too many actors to say what the bucket list of actors is, because that changes. But I would say right now, currently, I would love to do a film with Shia LaBeouf. I feel like the new stuff that he's putting out is like he's really going for it, and he's trying to earn his way back to. I do think that he's got an opportunity to win an Academy Award at some point once he finds that.
He's a great actor. The Tax Collector was really good too.
Yeah, exactly. And I like Christian Bale.
Right.
Phyllis is always saying I'm the Christian Bale of like indie horror. So
yeah.
Now, are you in Clown Motel too?
No.
Everybody's in that film.
I know. I was invited up to and I just couldn't do it. And because I thought they were shooting in LA, but then didn't they shoot somewhere like in
Nevada?
Nevada or someplace.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I'm
I think it was
I'm
too,
in
I
it.
think it was too far for me, for like just a pop in favor kind of thing. Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm in it. We shot it up in Big Bear. We
right.
shot
They shot all over the place, really.
all
Yeah.
over. Yeah, Joe Kelly likes to travel. So does Angie Baby.
Wait, go back. What movie would you have liked to have been in? Do you have like a favorite movie otherwise?
It's tough. I would have said I probably wish that I would have gotten in one of the, not the first 3 Star Wars because I was too young, but when they made the other 6, that was
Yeah.
a window of diminishing. So now there's the Mandalorian with, and there's a lot of comedic actors. They're really casting a lot of comedic actors on that Mandalorian show, which is a Star Wars thing, and it's John Favreau. Who
Yes.
I'm friends. He's also a Chicago guy. He was in Rudy, and
I love Rudy.
yeah,
It's a great movie.
I didn't know him. My one friend is a friend of mine that was at Second City with me is in Rudy with him, a guy named Mitch Rouse. And so that's when I became aware of John Favreau. But then another friend produced Swingers. And that was around that, I would say that was probably like 97, 98 or something like that. And that was in LA. And that's when I first met John, So maybe there's a shot at the Mandalorian because he seems to like to put a lot of comedians into the Star Wars stuff. Not all comedians, but he's peppering them in a lot more than regular Star Wars was. But I did save my rejection letters. I'm actually in a hotel room right now, and I didn't know what would come up. But I was just looking, with this whole COVID thing, I think everybody went through that kind of like house cleaning phase of let's go through the box. I have these boxes, and I was going through stuff, and I found all the Lucas film from George Lucas, from the producer. 2 producers and George Lucas both wrote me rejection letters when I sent a letter in asking to be in the film. So because
You should frame them. You should frame them.
yeah.
Put them in the guest. No, wait. Put them in the guest bathroom.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Among the
That was a
toilet
period
paper.
in the 90s. This was before really emails started. So the way you contacted people was you would write a letter, and I found that they would always respond. You know what I mean? They would respond. So I have a collection. I've got Steven Spielberg and Katzenberg when they were starting the DreamWorks.
Yeah. Wow.
I got I asked I would love to come work for your studio. But my name's Dave Sheridan. This was before I even hit it though. I was a nobody, and I'm still a nobody, but I'm a somebody that is a nobody. I'm one of the nobodies. Somebody who knows.
That's what I am, is somebody that's a nobody.
But so yeah, so I showed my kids. This is when I showed my kids. I go, here's all these rejection letters. You know what I mean? And see, the reason I got here was because I was doing that. You have to be, that old, it's the Frank Sinatra kind of thing. You got to pick yourself up every time. And
absolutely.
And I'm glad I did that because as an actor, and Ron, you know this, it's 90% rejection. 90% rejection, right? You gotta
Actually, I've been pretty lucky.
Well, good for you. Fuck
no,
you, Ron.
No, seriously. I was rejected on one thing that I really wanted. West Side Story, because they said I was too tall. And
3 minutes.
I looked Puerto Rican, black hair. I was very dark as a young boy.
But he couldn't dance.
But I lied, and I said I was a trained dancer. So they put me in with the choreographer. I wish I had film of that.
You said you were a trained dancer?
Yeah, which I wasn't.
You
and
should.
I thought
exactly. And note to anyone out there that wants that, if they ask if you can ride a motorcycle, yes, you can.
Yeah,
can you do karate? Yes, you can.
We all lie. We all say yes, we can do anything. So
Fighting Temptations.
Go ahead.
I had a rock band, but my rock band was like a heavy metal rock band where it was like rock and roll, right? Fighting Temptations is Beyonce Knowles, and it's like the OJs, and I'm in that choir with like major singers, and we recorded with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who did Michael Jackson.
All of Janet Jackson.
We went in the studio, and and it's a choir, and Beyonce's there, and the main mic, she's singing lead, and the OJs, and I'm with the OJs, and they go, "Are you a are you a tenor or a baritone? I was like, I don't know, right? And I just said, I'm a baritone or tenor. I think I said a tenor or something like that. So they put me with the tenors. And the best part was like each take, if the OJs are here, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm here, and the mic is here. Each take, they like backed me off the mic a little bit, like Dave, back up the mic, back up a little bit more. Yeah, you're too loud, back off the mic. But really, we all knew it was like, you actually can't sing, can you? No, I'm not that good of a singer. I just said, they said, oh, you're in a band. The casting director knew I had a popular band, but I'm not a singer.
Well, we all lie. All the actors lie.
So you guys, this is Dave Sheridan. Follow him on Twitter at Dave Sheridan. What are you on Instagram? Also Dave Sheridan?
I think it's at Dave Sheridan Official.
At Dave Sheridan Official. We've only got like 30 seconds left. You guys, you got to watch all his movies. He's in so many great things, and he's got a bunch of new stuff coming out. If you look on his IMDb, he's got all kinds of stuff coming out. When Killer Rose comes out, we'll have you come back. Maybe have you and Felissa come on together to promote Killer Rose.
And whoever Sadie was in it too.
No, Sadie's not in Killer Rose.
I thought Sadie.
He wants Sadie and everything. What the hell? She's in. I'll do a movie with Sadie. I will do a movie with Sadie, Ron, if that's what you really need.
We want you. All three of you guys need to do one.
Sadie and I are writing something, so possibly that could happen.
Yeah, you never know.
Plus, she's a great writer. I love writing.
I'm producing a bunch of stuff, and so if we can get you in, I'm going to try to get you in because I think people will love you, and you're a great talent. So, Dave, we want to thank you for coming on the show.
Can I say one thing? Can I just stretch one thing out? When you mentioned the horror and the comedy and stuff, it was Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects because, again, he liked to put a lot of comedic actors. He's like a Tarantino. He wants to put people off of what they're known for doing. And that opened my eye to the legitimacy of the horror. Then I started doing horror convention, and I found the audience and how loyal they are. And that's when I sort of discovered my own love for, like, the horror movies. And I said, I got to do more of these. But even in those movies like Victor Crowley, I am always the comedic element in horror movies because horror needs comedy or some sort of leverage to bring it back. So that there can be another scare moment. You can't be scare. You have to kind of have the breath. And a horror guy, if a comedy guy, a couple laughs, you're reset, and then they can get to another scare quicker. No,
absolutely. And the horror audience is the most loyal audience ever.
And
if anyone out there is a horror audience person, thank you so much. If you're a horror audience person, Ron thanks you too.
Oh, wait a second.
We gotta go.
I am famous for this. I can never deliver a dramatic line. It always comes out funny. And no matter what I work in, I could say, I'm going to kill you now, you motherfucker. And it comes out funny. I don't know why, but so they always cast me as that light humor in a film.
So Dave,
anyway, Dave, you're terrific.
We love you, Dave. You're fantastic.
Let's get together before you get out. We cut in LA a lot. Let's get together. We have fun. We have a lot of fun. Good seeing you.
Thank you so much. Jimmy, don't be a stranger, Jimmy. You know how to get a hold of me.
Gotcha. Now I have your phone number too, so it's good. All right, Dave. Thank you so much.
Dave.
Chat room, thank you so much. We'll see you guys later, everybody. Have a great weekend and a happy Halloween. Bye, everybody.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Sunlight can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.
If she got him, he's 80.